All right, so historic. We're kicking off the day with a build-around submission here for red-green Lukka. Lukka, for those not familiar, you must be hiding under a rock. This card is the best thing to be doing in Standard right now, and it's also pretty competitive in this format in a Jeskai shell. Instead of cheating the de facto Agent of Treachery into play, which is probably the best thing you could be doing with it, we're playing some Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger here from the latest HA3 card. This deck does also have a variety of ramp things in it. So in addition to 25 lands, we've got 8 accelerants here plus Domri. So we theoretically have 37 mana sources. So Ulamog is also somewhat castable in this deck. The general idea is that any of our 12 3-drops here, if we downtick Lukka on them, those 3-drops will guaranteed turn into an Ulamog. You can also downtick Lukka on any of your Planeswalkers after Sarkhan has plus to make them dragons to turn them into an Ulamog. So let's go ahead and pop on into some matches here with this one and see how it goes. Worth noting that Ulamog is a cast trigger, not an enters play effect. So when we cheat Ulamog into play, we do not get to exile 2 things. We are aware of that fact. The quarterly sub survey is out. If you're subbed on Twitch, you should have an email in your email. If you don't see the email, you can also join the subs Discord server and find it linked in the announcements section there. It is required that you are a sub to the channel. That's one of the reasons why I ask you for your sub name. I filter through the data and cross-check it with my list of subs and remove responses from people who are not subs. The intention of that poll is to find out information from the people who make this my job. If they're happy with the way in which I'm shaping my content, gives me ideas on which formats I want to focus on, etc. There's also, this is the first sub survey since we added the open series events. So there's a number of questions on there about those events. Thanks for 16 months, Moldylocks. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You run it with other. You know, honestly, Justagram, I could see that. The serum powders weren't particularly impactful in the games that we played. And I could see once upon a time giving you the added consistency. You just get to like put in other cards. Like, are there other blue cards you could play to make your Forcefulls more consistent, or you just play like more dredgers? Are the arena sounds off? That's a good question. Alright, you should have arena sounds now. I believe you should have arena sounds now. No, you'll be fine, Sleepy Turtle. Yeah, I don't know that Grazer's actually going to do that much here. Their first threat's a rather large one. We're gummed up on 5-drops. Again, Grazer kind of reminding us here how much worse it is than Llanowar Elves in a lot of these decks. Because it is not a mana source on its own. It only helps you get your other mana sources you already have out. What's going on, Troll? Yeah, we just wrapped up Dredge. It'll be up on YouTube later, as always. Counterspell me, daddy. Find out if they have 3 counterspells in a row here. Time to start jump blocking with Grazer, I think. If Vivien can get down, her Beastlies do have reach, so that's nice. It would be nice. Good chance that all 3 of these get countered, though. And now they get to get Brazen Borrower down, which probably means we're just dead. Couple of Domri's ambush. That's probably all I want to do here. Trim a couple of Sarkhan. The dragon tokens really aren't that good against their Brazen Borrowers and Unsummons. I mean, we also stumbled there, right? Hey, no worries, Troll. You've been here for plenty of time. One of the reasons why I give folks the mod sword is so they can hang out and chat even if their situation changes. I appreciate the support over the years. An anonymous gifter to Garden Variety Troll. Thank you, Anonymous Ghost, for your generosity. Oh, Landy is great. Thanks for keeping me around, folks. Kazric not real. Thanks for the 18 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I'm supposed to mulligan this because double Grazer is pretty bad. I also just don't have a green on one. I think if I had green on one for Elf, I'd keep this hand, but I think with double Grazer and no green on one, that's a mulligan. This hand's reasonable. We get to bottom the second Grazer. Hopefully we run some lands off and get to play Vivien on curve on turn 4. Yeah, Ceratops could be a fine inclusion if we want to hedge the mono blue matchup. I mean, it's definitely very easy to say let's play Ceratops while you're sitting here playing against the mono blue deck. The Vivien in the sideboard is there because she generates card advantage against control decks, but Ceratops is also good against control decks, so it's probably an okay swap. We're not gonna win this game missing land drops. Throw some Ceratops in there. The mono blue deck had a pretty good performance over the weekend, so it's probably not terrible to have a small hedge against it. And Ceratops is just a generically pretty good card in this format, I think. Let's see that. And cut the lanterns for now. I don't know if there's really any graveyard decks I really want to hate out in the format. You like the graveyard decks that exist, we can just race reasonably with our fast Ulamogs. You know, it's funny, Matt and I were talking about it, and we had talked about on stream, maybe you want to splash black into mono blue So that way you can kill Ceratops with Noxious Grasp. But it could also be worth exploring splashing red into mono blue. So that way you can play Redcap Melee. Because you can Redcap Melee Ceratops. You'll have to sack a land to do it. But it does still answer that problem as well. While also being stellar against Winota. Speaking of Amari the Collector here. Probably want to mulligan this in. This doesn't do anything right away. This ends okay. Not amazing, but fine. We'll bottom a Lukka here, and we'll go tap land on 1 into Elf Lovestruck Beast thing on 2. How was Manaless Dredge? It was amusing. Perfect. The issue with putting Ceratops is that if you Lukka a 3-drop, you might hit Ceratops. Yeah, I think that's fine though. I think that's not a big deal. I think the matchups where you're boarding Ceratops in, you don't mind having Ceratops. Also, the matchups where you're gonna board Ceratops in, Lukka's not necessarily gonna be great. Like Lukka's odds of resolving are not gonna be great. Maybe I'm supposed to trade here because of Winota next turn. We could be dead. Thalia slowing us down here. And we could see, you know, just, again, I'm playing this because it was a build around, but this is not the best thing you can be doing with Lukka in this format by a long shot. Like, had this been an Agent of Treachery, we get to take a land, which puts them further away from being able to cast a Winota. Ulamog here, not looking particularly impressive on this board. Get to exile a bunch of their stuff.
Even Titans obey my commands.
So we can go stomp this. Oh, this costs 4. Let's do this. Build them straight to the land they need for Winota, right? They weren't going to get the land for a while, huh? Did y'all know Lukka had other activated abilities, by the way? Were you aware? They have 8 cards left in their deck here. How many Marauders? They have 1, 2, 3. Or all the Marauders are gone. So I think with all the Marauders gone, we should be good here. Let's bring some Redcap Melees in, huh? Trim Vivien. Domri's ambush seems good here as well. Want to just become more interactive, I think. The Sarkhan game plan's probably not very good. Maybe trim a Grazer. I like this. Hey, Kingdom. Thanks for 6 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I mean, it took a little bit of stumbling, but Ulamog did drag us across the finish line there. Yeah, this is fine. Hand needs to draw some lands, but if it finds them, it's very good. Hey, I mean, is there anything that screams Hoaglandia more than hoping to draw a third land and drawing a 10-drop? I mean, if you, like, look back at all the different things that happen in Hoaglandia, I feel like that experience right there really embodies what we do here. Oh, tapped lands. Oh, tapped lands. Alright, I'll do it again here. Even Winota gets that experience with Marauders, ain't that the truth? Like, alright, I just need my third land. Marauders. Oh, man. Oh, man. See some folks talking about Titan's Nest in chat. It's an interesting one with Ulamog. That's gotta be bad though, right? Hand's pretty good. This is one of the best cards in the format against Winota, hands down. Only works on colored spells. Well, wow, way to police my Timmy. It amazes me that Wizards of the Coast, the same people who think to put safeguards like that on cards like Titan's Nest, also like created Oko or like had Agent of Treachery be an enter the battlefield effect. Like, could you imagine if Agent of Treachery just had that line of text, you only get this effect if you cast this card from your hand? Could you like the whole format's different, right? Multiple formats are different. Yeah, add the Zakama line. Pretty good start here for us. Definitely just putting a cap in this one. Shuffler confirmed broken. Thank you for the 17 months. Welcome back. Hey, thanks for 11 months, Hamblin. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Whoa, that was a borderless, heartless act. Yay, meaningful foils. It could be worse. Agent could cost 8 mana. Then you could play it with Gyruda. Hey, Archangel Cynthia. Thanks for the sub gifties. I appreciate that. Happy Monday. Welcome to our newest members of Hoaglandia. Not being able to play Elf on 1's a little bit sad, but I think this hand still keep. Against mono red here, I think we probably stomp on 2 into stomp plus elf again on 3. You've been playing Winota with Gyruda, and it's been interesting. Okay. Morning, Fox. Hey, welcome back, Snail. Hey, appreciate the prime. Hope you're staying safe out there in the world, wherever you're at. How do you give back on this lovely holiday? Well, thank you. If they don't kill our elf here, we get to Sarkhan. Make a Dargan. Black-red Burning Tree Emissary. Interesting. Never not tried the Ulamog. Yep. So there was a Gruul Obosh / red green Lukka deck actually made a really deep run in the tournament. Hats off to Napster, by the way. We've had 2 Hoaglandia historic opens, and Napster has finished first and third in the 2 opens we've had so far. Pretty impressive showing for them. And the, their Obosh Lukka deck was just playing Yadato in the slot, which is interesting. Oh, no. Just moments before the accident, chat. Moments before the accident. It's a hard knock life. Do 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 do. John, thanks for the 2 months. You know, it's actually a kind of a funny thought. Red aggro, like what this opponent's playing, actually gets kind of worse in this format because Winota's doing well, right? Like, Winota doing well means if you have red, you're probably playing for Redcap Melee, which probably makes this matchup harder for them, all things considered. This is a thick whirly boy, though. Do I assume they're playing Cleave and board in Brontodon? I feel like that's probably not an unreasonable assumption. Could have Frenzy, too. Did Samet, thanks for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I am really happy with how the open went. Sans the, like, half-hour delay we had to start the day, 40-minute delay we had to start the day. I'm really happy with how everything ran overall. Had a lot of really good feedback. I feel like the overlays that we had really stepped up the level of professionalism that the event had overall in a really great way. It was super awesome that a sub did those up for us. So 17 months, Quaddle. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Tournament was great. Had a fun time playing the green ramp deck. You tweaked a little while ago. I'm glad you had fun, Radagast. And again, if you're a sub who has feedback on the open events that we've had or just Hoaglandia in general, be sure to fill out the subscriber survey. It got emailed out late last night. It's also available in the subscriber Discord server for you to click and look at your when time permits. Scotty, thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. If you didn't get the survey email, and you'd like to get emails from me in the future, if you go into your Twitch settings, you probably have email notifications turned off. You can definitely turn those back on. If you're in the Discord server, there's also like not a huge rush though, because basically anything that I post send via email also goes up in the Discord server. Naya Winota is the Jeskai Lukka of Historic. I'm going to give you a 10-minute timeout to think about just how incredibly stupid that statement is. Anybody who thinks the Naya Winota deck in Historic is comparable to Jeskai Lukka in Standard doesn't fundamentally understand what makes the Jeskai Lukka deck so good in Standard. The fact that the Jeskai Lukka deck has been the known best deck in Standard for weeks, and it's still getting a better win rate post-board than pre-board in most of these events, is a big deal. The Naya Winota deck is likely a lot more attackable than a deck that doesn't care about creature removal, and that you can't go over the top of. Nah, that's fine, Terminator. Do you have a link for the Jeskai Lukka deck? I just look up any recent tournament. I'm gonna go ahead and stomp this 2/2. Just keep the board clean. Part of me wonders Jeskai Lukka was a problem, but yeah, I wonder that. Another part of me wonders, like I've been telling people they need to respect Naya Winota, and I think it's one of the better decks for a little while now, but like if you look through the sideboards of a lot of these decks, there wasn't a ton of spot removal in them. And the people need to put more spot removal in their sideboards, is what it comes down to. And there's a good chance the Naya Winota deck does a Splinter Twin type impersonation for this format of keeping people honest, of making sure, hey, if you can't race really fast, you need to be interactive. Call of the Death Dweller. That's a sweet one to splash black for, in addition to Rick Smetty. I like it. Wow! Wow, that's gasoline. Give your fanatical Firebrand Death Touch. That's awesome. And Firebrand works really well with Hardened in the Forge too, right? Because it like makes a token when you sack it. Yeah, opponent's build is sweet. Just like mono red with a small black splash. I like it. Yes! Oh, it's also great with Chain Whirler. Holy gosh, you bring back Goblin Chain Whirler. Whew! Whew! Alright, their deck's great. And again, it just like really makes me wonder, like, remember, Naya Winota was a deck that was a build-around submission on stream. Someone was just like, hey, Jeff, can you put these things together? And I was like, all right, let's try it. Like, how many things like Naya Winota are hiding in this format somewhere, waiting for people to figure them out? Does Feather still want melee in the side, even though they have 4 Reckless Rage? I think you want some additional ways to kill things, but I don't think you necessarily need melee. So, like, for instance, I believe the Feather deck on my website has Justice Strike in the board, which I think is a good solution. Feels magic, man. Is Cardboard Live active? It's not, actually. Good call. I'm surprised it took someone this long to say something. Yep, loaded up. Had it turned off. Cardboard Live does have applications loaded out. You might have to restart. You might have to refresh your browser page, but it is live on my end now. Hey, Bilkinton, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Is that a deck that can tussle and historic? Yeah, Garden Variety Troll. You can find a ton of great decks on my website. From Naya Feather to Naya Winota to non-Naya decks. Great selection up there. In fact, we're getting enough historic decks on the website at this point that I'm going to need to take some time and break them down and make them searchable. In fact, I think the rise of Naya Winota as a premier deck in the format actually makes Feather better because it makes Reckless Rage even more premium than it already was. Hey, Kane, thanks for 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. You think Yorion and Luris are fair? Who turned off sub-only mode? Mods, don't make me check who's changing settings or I'll break fingers. And by that I mean take your swords away and never give them back. Yorio, thanks for 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. For those that haven't seen Naya Winota here before, I'll let my opponent flip their things into play and deal a bunch of damage here. Should we over-extrapolate for one tournament? No, you shouldn't. And again, something that I've talked about at multiple points today, and I will continue to try and hammer home for people that don't understand how to do proper statistical analysis. The comparisons of Naya Winota to Jeskai Lukka off of my one tournament that only had 200 players in it are idiotic at best. Again, the strong win rates that Jeskai Lukka has put up in Standard have been strong win rates not only for weeks, but also over lots of different tournaments with lots of varying sample sizes. So the time factor means people have had time to try and adjust to Jeskai Lukka knowing it's the best deck, and they failed. And we have lots of sample sizes to work with, including a 2,000 plus player Red Bull event that had, you know, however many Lukka players, at almost 500. Yeah, the Red Bull tournament alone is pretty significant data. Like 2,000 versus 200 is night and day. All right, what did I cut last time? It's probably Vivien's and Sarkhan's. My Grazer, I think that's what I did. For a build around for Red Black Death Touch, bring Shane Whirler back. Fantastic, Clipsy. Sounds great. I appreciate the biddies. Red Bull had an MTG tournament. Yeah, Red Bull's having a series of Magic qualifiers that are free to play in. Their first one had 2,600 people play in it. And the top 8 got prizes. T Mason, thanks for 13 months. Welcome back. Will do, Time Lord. Look at that. The shillings come together. Y'all are great. For the prize, Red Bull swag. No, in their credit, the prizes were like 5 grand in cash split up over the top 8 competitors, plus an invite to a larger tournament. I just like to point that out because for people that are newer to the channel, I think the absurdity at which we stack the top end of prizes in Magic tournaments consistently is very silly. It's one of the reasons why the Hooglandia Opens have a fairly flat prize structure. We're up to over 600 survey responses. I believe in you, Hooglandia. We currently have 2,700 individual subscribers. Let's get that percentage of responses up. I believe in you. The Freak. Sounds good. We have an Austin command for people that care about that. The survey in Discord is in the announcements channel. My body is ready to never draw a 4th and 5th land. If a mod wants to update my Austin command with a link to context, that would be fine and encouraged. Hey, Boston, thanks for the generous tier 2 resub. I appreciate the 11 months. Welcome back. If you don't know who Austin is or what we're talking about, just know that it's random Magic the Gathering drama, and it's really not a big deal. Alright, if they play Winota here, we get to cap her, and then if we peel a land, we can untap Lukka and get an Ulamog. Mazria, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, for those of you that haven't been keeping up on Historic, Ulamog is legal in this format. I want Emrakul, right? Where's my 15/15? If Emrakul was legal in this format, you might actually have something better than... what's it called? The cheat into play. Land, please. Land, please. Ah! All right, I'm done with this deck. I want to get through to a couple other things. This deck is bad. Ulamog is not good enough to cheat into play. Just to plug the Open Series events for a moment here. On my website, you can click Hoglande Opens, then full deck list and event details. And if you scroll down on here, Gruul Obosh that Napster played to a 3rd place finish. I think this is just a better version of what the deck that we were playing just now was trying to do. It's playing for Lukka, and the thing that it's turning 3-drops into there's 1 copy of Yadaro, which means not only does the thing you're getting have haste, but it means when you draw your stupid card that costs too much mana, you can cycle it back into your deck. Playing Yadaro as the thing you cheat out means you also get to play Prey Piercer, which is great. So I think as far as red-green Lukka is concerned, I think this is much better. Again, this build that I have here was explicitly a build around to try and cheat Ulamog out, and I really feel like those range of games really showed some of like why this just isn't good enough. And not only is it clunky, but even when it comes out, it's not quite powerful enough to do what you need it to do a lot of the time.